Yes, indeed. Let us think the following. Today is the day that makes a difference in my life. Let's think that together. Today is the day that makes a difference in my life. Today, we're going to look at our lives, and we're going to look at our lives as though we're looking at them through our hearts so that we can join that beautiful heart energy in the entire world and energize it through our hearts, where we care for one another and live harmoniously through peace and love. One day, a policeman pulled his van up in front of the station, and in his van was his canine partner, Jake, and Jake was in the back of the van and barking. And as the police was collecting his equipment to take back in, all of a sudden he noticed a little boy looking at him. And the little boy finally said, "Is that a dog in there?" And the policeman answered him and said, "There sure is." And then the little boy was kind of puzzled. And then what he did was he asked the policeman, "What did he do?" Yes, indeed. What did he do? Yes, indeed. So here we are. We often think we know what's going on. We absolutely are sure what's going on, but what we're really doing is we are assuming. We are assuming what's going on without understanding a lot of time what's really going on. Don Miguel Ruiz in the Four Agreements, the third agreement said, don't make assumptions. Remember in the olden days, we used to say, if you assume something, you're making an ass out of you and me. Yes, indeed, you're assuming something. So remember the story of Aladdin in the Arabian Nights, where he found an old oil lamp and he was going to throw it away, but then he decided to clean it up because it was really dirty. And as he was cleaning it up, lo and behold, a genie appeared and granted him 3 wishes because the genie was so grateful. Remember that story? Well, let's move ahead several centuries and pretend you're at a garage sale and you pick up an oil lamp and you decide you want to clean up that oil lamp because it is also very, very dirty. And as you start to clean it, lo and behold, a genie appears. And the genie says, "Thank you so much for freeing me. My name is Ivanovich Eugenie, and I am the ACSL genie. I'm the special genie of the ACSL." And yes, indeed. And what I'm doing is whenever you see me in the future, you can say, oh, hi, it's Avon calling. That's my little joke. So I am here in great gratitude to grant you 3 wishes because I'm so grateful you let me out of that old oil lamp. And so you are so excited. You're jumping up and down. Goody, 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 goody. My first wish is, no, 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 says Avon. Don't rush me. You have to learn a few things in ACSL before we deal with this wishing stuff. And so what he said is, there are some principles in ACSL. And the first principle is, there is a law in the universe and we can use it. This is the law of the universe. And you kind of interrupted and you said, yes, I know what that law is. That is the law of the universe that we call God, or we call spirit, or we call something else that we are comfortable with. And this law grants all the things that we think into it. How fabulous can we get? And so I really understand this law. And so you say, so then you continue. So my first wish is, and Avon says, wait a minute, we're not finished yet. There is some second principle I want you to learn. The first principle is there is a power in the universe which expresses in us, as us, and through us, and we can use it, and we do use it every time we think in it, feel in it, express in it. The second principle is there is a law in the universe which loves to express everything that we think in it, feel in it, say in it. It's called the universal law. And I'm so excited, so very, very excited to express this beautiful law of the universe. I understand that law. That law is if there's a sickness or something and you say, oh my goodness, there's a sickness going around, and then you say, and I'm going to get it. And because you were expressing this, guess what? You get it. So the first principle we have, we speak our word into the law. The second principle is that we bless and curse not. So if we curse, we get that illness. But if we bless and we say, I am a spiritual child of God and I do not inherit any sickness. That's what Myrtle Fillmore said. And if we say we're a beautiful expression of God and we don't inherit any sickness, guess what? We don't inherit any sickness. How awesome is that? And so today, the second principle is bless and curse not. Bless and curse not. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. Well, you say, that reminds me of something I read one time. There was an executive, and he was driving on a street in Chicago, and he was driving his new beautiful Jaguar that he had just purchased. And he was driving kind of fast, but he was looking to see if any children were running out of the cars parked. And so all of a sudden he saw something, and a brick came out and hit his new Jaguar in the door. And screech, he stopped. He stopped his car. He got out of his car. He grabbed the boy. There was a boy that threw that brick, and he said, what are you doing? Are you crazy? What are you doing? You just hit my new Jaguar. And the boy said, Mister, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry I had to do it because nobody else would stop. He said, my big brother is in a wheelchair, and he fell out of the wheelchair and he fell off the curb, and he's too heavy. I can't lift him back. And so the driver, the executive, whose name was Josh, had to fight back tears. And what he did was, Mister, can you help me get him back in the wheelchair? And so Josh helped him get back in the wheelchair. And then he noticed that he kept pushing the wheelchair with his brother in it back to his house. And you know what? Josh never again fixed that door, because it reminded him not to go so fast that he absolutely knew that he didn't want to be hit by a brick. He didn't want to be hit by a brick to get his attention. And that was the first B, that he was being attentive. And the second B I want to treat you about is bless instead of curse. And so Ernest Holmes, something happened to Ernest Holmes once, and I want to share it with you. Ernest Holmes had a friend who owned a furniture store. And one day, Ernest Holmes was visiting the furniture store, and he got inside, and all he heard were people blessing and moaning and complaining and cursing and saying, "We've got a beautiful store, we've got a beautiful merchandise, we've got people walking by, but nobody comes in the store. We just are so mad at our creditors, we're so mad at the people walking by, the public, nobody sees us. What are we going to do?" And so Ernest Holmes said, "That's because you're cursing, you're not blessing. Let's say a blessing today together." And so they all got together, and Ernest Holmes said, "Let us bless everybody who walks by this store, whether they're walking, riding a bicycle, whether they're on a bus. Let's bless them and know they have only blessings in their life." And so everybody got together and did this beautiful blessing. And Ernest Holmes says, "So take out all those signs in the store that say, we're going out of business, we're going out of business, we need money, and everything like that. Go and take out those signs in the window." And so the son went to the window, and as he was taking out those signs, wouldn't you know it, two families walked into the store. Two families absolutely walked into the store, and Ernest Holmes said to himself, "It's starting to work. They're blessing instead of cursing," and he knew everything was going to be all right. Isn't that awesome? Yes, it is. So I am telling you now about two principles. It's called the BB program. BB, to BB or not to BB. The first BB was being responsible, and Josh was responsible, and the furniture store was responsible. And the second is bless and do not curse. It is so wonderful. Yes, I understand that perfectly. And what the boy, he just was looking and looking and staring at the genie in silence. And then he said, "God bless you, Avon, ACSL genie." And then the genie said, "Because you have understood the two principles of being responsible and blessing instead of cursing, I grant you all your wishes for the rest of your life, for I am really, really the law of the universe, and the law always grants everything that is given into the universe." How sweet it is, how wonderful it is, how beautiful it is. And so what I know is, what I absolutely know is that love can change our life. And so I went through the internet looking for all kinds of things that people have written about love. And so what I know, what I remember is there was a poem called The Invitation. And the invitation was absolutely so wonderful, written by Oriah Mountain Healer. And I love that poem. And so I want to share a part of that poem with you today. And I want you to join me because it is so heartwarming in our house. What Mariah Mountain wrote. She wrote, "It doesn't matter to me who you are. What I want to know is if you can sit with pain, mine or yours, without moving to hide it, to fade it, or to fix it. What I want to know is if you can live with failure, yours and mine, and still stand at the edge of the lake and look at the silver of the full moon and say, yes. And what I want to know, it doesn't interest me to know where you live or how much money you have. I want to know if you can get up after the night of grief and despair, weary and bruised to the bone, and do what needs to be done to feed the children. It doesn't interest me where or what or with whom you've studied. I want to know what sustains you from the inside when all else fails. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in the empty moments. It doesn't matter. All of those false things about you, I want to know who you really are. I want to know if you can be alone with yourself and if you truly like the company you keep in those empty moments. Won't you join me in prayer? As we start in prayer today, what I know is that there is a power, a beautiful power we were talking about, that beautiful power that sustains everything. And I want to share with you finding love, being love, offering love, representing love. I want to tell you what Maya Angelou said. We angels, we immortals, believers and non-believers, look henceforward and speak the word aloud. Love, love, love. We look at our world, speak the word out loud, love. We speak the word for ourselves and in our brothers and in our sisters. We look at each other and then into one another and speak that word without shyness, without apology, without hesitation. We speak the word love, my brother. We speak the word love, my sister. Love, my soul. There is a line in the Bible that says the word becomes flesh. So today, the word love becomes flesh, and we speak love. Let love reign in peace and love. And I am so grateful to speak these words, and I release them into that wonderful law of the universe and know that we are love. Our lives have made a difference today. And together we say, and so it is. Amen and amen.